Silita and I are maxing out our spinning top. Based on our small version, we decided to make one with as much mass as possible. So we got a 20-kilogram weight and welded it to a metal shaft. Will this work the same way? Well, let's look at the science. Why does a top spin? Well, let's start with Newton's first law, which is an object at rest tends to stay at rest, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. But the in motion has another part. That object also wants to go in a straight line. If you think of a bowling ball rolling along, it would need another force to act upon it to make it change direction. We say that a moving object has momentum. Now, a top doesn't go in a straight line, it spins around, but it still has momentum. It's an object in motion, and even though it's spinning, it still does want to go in a straight line. It's just that that straight line is here. We call this angular momentum. To make a top move this way, or that way, would take an outside force, so it stays upright as long as it has enough momentum. But when it slows down, there's less momentum and it becomes harder to resist external forces, like gravity, which will eventually want to make it topple. Our top has a lot of mass, which means it'll have a lot of angular momentum when it gets spinning. It's just a matter of getting it spinning fast enough.
So should we spin it?
Yeah, let's spin it. Let's see if we can get it to work. Hey, okay.
Spin.
Oh, we're gonna let go. In 3.
Wait. I can't get it.
1, go.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. Not fast enough.
We need something to help us get it spinning faster. Maybe a rope?
A rope, yeah.
Wrap a rope
That
around
was
it
my
like the-
idea too, a rope, because the small one uses a rope.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go grab a rope.
So, wrapping the rope up.
I'll let you wrap the rope
Okay.
up. I'll get my holder back on top.
Spin it counterclockwise.
We attach the rope and wind it up.
You want to make it super clean. This is some of the best coiled rope I've ever seen. I'm gonna pull the rope. You're gonna hold on to it, but I can't pull really hard because you won't be able to hold it up. Because we don't have to pull hard, we just have to get it going fast.
Yes.
Silita keeps her hand on the block at the top and I pull.
Ready?
Wait a minute, we'll get all the way. Oh. Whoa!
Spinning a lot better than I thought it would. It's still spinning, but it's wobbling.
Oh, careful.
Oh, there it goes.
It works, but just barely.
It might spin better, it might spin straighter.
Yeah.
If we had it spinning, something help us spin it faster.
Yes, faster with more power.
With more power.
So, back to our main experiment, where Heather and I are building a larger electromagnet. An electromagnet works like this. When an electric current is traveling through a wire, it creates a magnetic field. If you wrap that wire around something ferromagnetic, that's something made out of a metal that is attracted to magnets, like an iron nail, then it becomes a magnet. You can make a magnet stronger by wrapping more wire, which gives more distance for the current to travel, increasing the magnetic field, and you can also increase the strength of the current. Heather and I start with a coil of 30 meters of wire and start wrapping. And wrapping. And wrapping.
There, the wire is now all done. And remember, if you're doing this at home, do not use a drill unless you have an adult to help you out because drills can be very dangerous. This one goes at a very slow speed, so it was okay. But yes, definitely an adult supervised activity.
Then we attach another on-off switch and make some leads that connect to a 12-volt battery. So, more wraps of wire and more current means the electromagnet should be stronger.
Okay, so we're gonna try this electromagnet and we're gonna pick up this stuff right here.
Great.
Ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
3,
2, 1, go! Is it on?
Yeah.
Wow, it really does, you can't tell it it's on, but...
No, but bring it closer and...
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, we turn it off.
All right.
Let's see if this nail can pick up this nail.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Go. Oh. Okay, how about this side? Oh, no. No.
I don't think we're strong enough.
It's not strong enough. I think that we need to max this out even more.
Even more?
Right.
So I'm thinking there are a lot of appliances that use electromagnets, meaning it's already set up, it already has tightly wound coils and high voltage. So we're in a lab here. Maybe do you have old appliances around?
I have parts bins with a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe we could find some electromagnets in those.
Let's do it.
Okay, great, let's go.
Our giant trebuchet launched a pumpkin pretty far.
Very cool.
But now it's time to max it out further by adding even more weight.
All the weight, all the weight, all the weight.
So we increased the weight to 425 pounds.
That's a lot of weight. Okay, are we ready?
I think so. I can't wait to see what this thing does.
I can't wait to see how heavy it is to pull.
Turns out pulling that much weight using our rope was really tough, even with the mechanical advantage of our lever.
There we go.
We found another pumpkin of the same size, but then we started having another problem.
3, 2,
2,
1, go!
Whoa! Look at how high it is.
What?
Whoa!
Go!
Whoa!
What? Whoa! So, I think we're going a little too high.
Yes.
It was almost straight up.
How far the pumpkin goes all comes down to when the rope slips off the pin at the end. If the rope slips off too early, the pumpkin goes up and not very far. Too late and the pumpkin goes straight, which means it'd hit the ground sooner and doesn't go as far. A 45-degree angle is just right. And how do you adjust it? By simply bending the pin.
3, 2,
2,
1.
1. Whoa! That was great. Great.
That went way farther than 60. We should have had another sign.
I don't even know how far that went.
Yeah, there you go. Science Max, experiments at large, trebuchet. So, one of us has to clean up the pumpkins and the other one has to put the trebuchet away.
Right.
Pumpkins!
So here's the science behind what we're doing today. It's all about elastic force. Elasticity is a property of solid materials, like this elastic, and how much they tend to return to their original shape when deformed, like when I pull on it. Elastics are called elastics because they're great at doing just that. You can pull on it and pull on it and pull on it, and it'll, always return to its original shape. So we are using the power of elastic force today. Ow.
Now it's time for a Science Max quiz. Elasticity is the ability for a material to return to its original shape when deformed, like this or this. Which of these materials have elasticity? A rubber band, a pencil, or a rock? Haha! This is a trick question. The answer is all three. Most solid materials have elasticity. Nearly everything will deform a little and still be able to return to its original shape. It all depends on how much. This is a steel bar. This is an elastic band. And this is an ice cream sundae. We're not talking about ice cream sundaes now, though. So get that out of here. Good. Now, a steel bar and an elastic band both have elasticity. A steel bar can be stretched to 1% of its length and still spring back. A rubber band can be stretched 300% or more. The difference between the two is why we make balls out of rubber and buildings out of steel, because the other way around wouldn't be good for balls or buildings. This has been a Science Max quiz.
All right, let's build our catapult. The first step, take 4 pencils and stick your popsicle stick in between so you have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And then use your elastic to go around and around and around. That's why I like building things with elastics, because it makes it very fast to tie things together, because once you go around and you have it nice and tight, you just pop it over the end and voila, it stays together. And that is how you start making your frame. Put more pencils on that side.
And another popsicle stick on the other end, held on at the corners with more elastics. Then, take even more elastics and put them right around the middle until you get this. I've added a few more elastics around the middle here, and that is where we're gonna get all of our elastic force. I think I have 6. The more you use, the better it's going to work. Take your popsicle stick, stick it in between the elastics, and then start spinning it around. Here's the reason I use pencils and popsicle sticks is because the pencils are a little bit longer, which allows you to twist the popsicle stick around in the middle and build up the elastic force. Now, because I'm twisting, the elastic force we're using here is called torsion, or twisting force. When you feel you have enough torsion, pull your popsicle stick down a little bit so it won't unwind on you, and you'll see that you have all kinds of elastic energy. Then, take your spoon and stick it on the popsicle stick, and you can also break off the popsicle stick if you want to make sure it's the right length. And it works like that.
To make the frame, you just need more pencils and elastics. The trick is to make a triangle with 2 pencils attached to your frame. They should stick up right where your catapult arm would be fully upright. Then, take a final pencil and put it across the top. Don't forget to pull the arm back before you put the pencil across, otherwise it'll end up on the wrong side.